All right, welcome to this week's Team Infinity Zoom call. Today is August 3rd. That's hard to even say. I keep saying, oh, in August, and then I realize it is August. Anyways, August 3rd, 2017. Tonight we're going to be discussing exposures versus outcome. So I added to our Team Infinity WhatsApp conversation, I added a video that one of our team members, Matt Wells, posted to YouTube. It's been several years now, but he shared it with me again the other day because he thought about it during a conversation we had in Houston this past week, and he wanted me to share it with Sue. So I added it to our WhatsApp conversation because I wanted everyone to watch it tonight. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch it before this call, basically the gist of it is Matt chose a number, and his number was 72, and he said, I'm going to keep track, and he made a poster board and he put different blocks on it, and he said, I'm going to keep track of 72 exposures. So I am going to send out cards with 72 people and not be concerned about what the outcome is. I'm just going to do my job. I'm just simply going to share with them. And what happens, happens. And, trust the process, because we all know that if we show 72 people send out cards, some are going to come on board as customers, some are going to come on board as distributors, some it's not going to be for them, and some maybe later on down the road, if we stay in touch with them, may eventually become our customers or distributors. But basically what we want to be doing is just sharing the system with people and not being concerned about whether they say yes or no, because they've already said yes to us by letting us show them the system. And if they say no, they're not saying no to us, they're simply saying no to send out cards. It's not right for them. And one thing I was telling one of my distributors is that if you talk somebody into it, it's not going to do them any good, and it's not going to do you any good, because in the long run, they're not going to be a long-term customer, or they're not going to be a successful distributor because they've been not coerced into something, but they've kind of been talked into it, and they're not going to stick with it. So basically, we're going to show it to people. If they're excited, great, they're going to come on board. If they're not excited, it doesn't mean that they don't like us. It doesn't mean they don't like our product. It just means they don't really see it right now, but still stay in touch with them. So what he did is he kept track of those 72 exposures, and at the end of it, if he felt like that was, hi, Rebecca. If he felt like at the end of those 72 exposures, he had completed the task and shown 72 people, then he rewarded himself with a Drew Brees jersey, hence the title, 72 Exposures and a Drew Brees jersey. That's a hard one to say, by the way. Say that 10 times fast.
By the way, I did not know who Drew Brees was, but...
Shame on you.
Oh, as a San Diego Charger fan, that really makes me sad.
Okay, well, Nebraska girl here, don't watch Chargers as football, right? Okay.
Yeah. That was like devastating when they traded him to New Orleans. So now Rebecca gets to love Drew Brees, and San Diego's got a whole lot of nothing because we don't even have a football team now. Anyways, so what Tracy and I discussed today was the challenge for this week will be each of us coming up with what our 72 exposures and a Drew Brees jersey is going to be. For some of us that are working this business full time, like Sue, that might mean X number of exposures, and then she rewards herself with whatever. But for other people who maybe, like Woody, are doing 3 different things, home inspection, playing in a band, and growing send-out cards also, his exposures might be lower numbered. Tracy and I decided that a 30-day challenge was a good number. Then everyone could tailor it to what they wanted their exposure number to be. And it was also something that we could repeat over and over by choosing the number 30. It's obviously something that can fit into a month, and we can do it over and over. So everyone, your job is to, your challenge if you choose to accept it, is for the next 30 days, I want you to choose a number that's going to be your number of exposures for the next 30 days. Choose what your reward is. And if by this time tomorrow you can have that posted in our WhatsApp group so that we can all hold each other accountable. If you don't want to share it with the group, please share it with your sponsor or another accountability partner so that that person can help encourage you and help you along the way. So, yes, Woody. Yeah.
What's an exposure? Sharing the app and having them send a card?
Yes. So we're going to count an exposure as them being walked through the process of sending a card.
Excellent. All right.
Yes. So that doesn't just mean I'm going to text the app link to somebody or I'm going to give somebody a link to my website. It means an exposure is actually going to be the act of walking someone through sending a card.
And if you do group events, get them a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See how my
Absolutely.
mind works? So like at my BNI meeting, that could be 17 exposures.
Well, 17 exposures if they're all new people.
Oh, well, they're not all new people.
Exactly. So,
But I don't
You'd have to
speak
split
this
it with
month
me,
anyway,
too.
so. Yeah, Matt would have to get my BNI exposures.
Yeah.
Because we're on the same team. That's awesome. And my favorite part is coloring in the boxes. Because when we were doing the Cancun challenge, I made a poster and colored in the boxes every time I got a point. And there's something really satisfying about that.
yeah.
And so I would write the name of the person and then color in the box. And I can't wait to start coloring in boxes again.
Sue and I were just laughing about that on our way back from, or maybe it was at breakfast yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, sometime in the past week, we were laughing about when we were doing the Cancun challenge. Every time I would get points, I would have my husband videotape me coloring in the boxes, and then I would share it with the team. So that was a lot of fun.
So, and it's not too cheesy to put a picture of yourself coloring in a box on WhatsApp.
No, not at all. We're all here we are a stand on your feet and cheer each other on kind of company. So
And
we absolutely
clap
want
and
to
cheer
see
with you for every exposure.
Yes, we absolutely want to see you coloring in those boxes. Now, for those of you who did not watch the YouTube video yet that I posted of Matt talking about this, have some fun with it. Come up with something that you wouldn't otherwise reward yourself with. In his case, like he says in the video, he could afford to go out and buy himself a Drew Brees jersey. It's not like it was this, great thing that, he'd never in a million years could afford. But the point was he probably wouldn't spend the money for this $140 jersey that he wanted were he not rewarding himself. And he thought, what better way to get this jersey than to challenge myself to do something, maybe a little bit outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
So,
I'll have to think of something because I've been doing nothing but rewarding myself lately. So
yeah. Yeah.
it's
We
going to
might have spent a lot of time at the mall while we were.
Yeah, well, there was really nothing else to do when it feels like 107.
All right, so that's basically the challenge. Now I would like to hear a little bit about Mary. Mary, since you're new, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you know Dan, and how you use send-out cards?
Well, my background is in real estate and SAG and after. I met Dan.
Wow.
Are you there, Dan?
Yes.
I met Dan through voiceover. I want to do voiceover, and he was coaching me.
Awesome.
I live now in Florida because my husband and I moved here. We're avid golfers. So I'm no longer in real estate. And at the time that I met Dan, I was working in real estate too. And I love this tool, send out cards for real estate sales. And I want to use it to promote myself in the voiceover industry and my friends. So
Very nice. All right.
If you haven't had a chance to watch anything on, go to Gail Zintek on YouTube and watch anything she's posted, and you'll learn everything you need to know about how to use send out cards in real estate. She is a master at using it to build relationships, and is selling something like 100 houses a year that are all referral because of send out cards and the relationships he's built.
I'm no longer in real estate though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you're talking to your real estate friends.
Well, I have a lot of golf friends now, so.
All right. Well, then you got to get something. Okay. So I wanted to talk about getting started, something that Jordan Adler has put together, and I'm going to screen share. Let's see. I have to screen share before I pull it up. And I was very excited about this because you know, when I start a new, and Gordon's talking, so I'm going to turn him off. When I start a new distributor, I talk to them about all of the things we need to talk to there. Where's that static coming from? Anybody know?
It happened when you switched to screen share.
Yeah.
Well, I've got him turned off, so we should be okay. But I talked to him about custom branding and getting their handwriting font, and there's just and getting your campaign set up, and there's just a lot to get started if you want to be using every feature. But what Jordan pointed out is that when people get started, they don't need to be using every feature. They just need to know how to send a card from their phone. And so by training people to use every feature on the website, you lose them because they get overwhelmed and think it's hard. And it's not hard. So he put together this Facebook page. Every single one of you go to it and like it, and then he'll approve you. Watch the video that's on the pinned post. If you have it on your computer, the pinned post will be first. If you have it on your phone, you have to go to where it says pinned post and watch the video, and he tells you what to do. So for a new distributor, all you have to do is send them here, tell them to watch the video, and he tells them that for the next 2 weeks, you're going to send 3 cards a day. You're going to either take a picture or take a picture off of Facebook and put it on the front of a card, and from your phone, send it to someone. And don't worry about custom branding, and don't worry about handwriting font. Don't worry about anything else. Just send cards. Because at the end of that 2 weeks, if you send 3 cards a day, you're going to have 48 contacts in your contact manager. You're going to have all kinds of positive feedback from people who received the cards and love them. People are going to be posting on Facebook on the cool thing they got from you. There's all kinds of good that comes from sending cards. And when new distributors get overwhelmed and don't send cards, they don't see the good. So he said that he started out his last several new distributors this way, and they are much more engaged than the ones he tried to teach everything to. So, and then after that, and the other thing that you do for that 2 weeks is go to his website, which is thecoolbuzz.com, and it's right there on the Facebook page. And he has a 30-minute call every week that talks about some aspect of being a distributor and send out cards. And he says, if you can get your new distributors to watch or to listen to a video, you can either watch, listen, or both. Listen to a call once a day, so 14 calls. They will be so trained by the end of that 2 weeks, you won't really need to teach them very much. And they can listen to any 14 calls they want. They can listen to the last 14 or pick and choose. And so 14 calls and 14 days of sending 3 cards a day. You follow up with your new distributor in 2 weeks. Ask them how that went. If they didn't do it, say, I'll give you another 2 weeks. Do it. and then let's talk. And not until they've done that do you go through the rest of the website and talk about handwriting font, custom branding, and setting up campaigns and all the other things that are available. Because they have to have the experience of sending cards first before they get overwhelmed with all the setup stuff. He's had great success with it. I'm super excited about it because I don't have to sit there. I don't feel responsible now for every new distributor, me showing them everything on the website. I don't have to do that. The first 2 weeks, all I have to do is get them excited about sending cards. And then after they've done that, then we can talk about all the other details and features. So Matt,
Yes.
your assignment is to watch the video, send 3 cards a day, and listen to 30 minutes. And I know you're driving around a lot, so you can listen to it while you're driving. Listen to a 30-minute call every day, and you'll be such an expert, you won't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, Matt, I like what Sue was saying about, you're driving around from job site to job site and doing bids and whatnot. Sue and I, when we travel, we always make sure we have Jordan's calls or a book on tape or some sort of podcast to listen to, so that the time in the car is learning time. And then obviously I'm usually driving, so if Sue has to check in with customers, she can do that too from her phone. You could also be making phone calls at that time, which you probably do for JTech anyways. But really, it's a great idea to have a 30-minute call loaded, ready to go, that you can listen to while you're driving. And sometimes Sue and I have even on a drive listened to the same call twice, because as we're driving along, we'll hear little bits and pieces of things, and then we wind up talking about it a little bit. Excuse me. So then we go back and we think, oh, that was really great. I want to hear that again, because obviously I'm driving, I'm not taking notes. So, you could even maybe for a couple of days listen to a call so that you get through the whole thing, maybe more than once, so that you're not missing little words of wisdom and little jewels of goodies there. Yeah.
Jordan is such an awesome resource. Every single thing that comes out of his mouth is golden, and he does these calls every week for our benefit. I listen to him every week, and he has the replays online, so you can go back 3-4 years if you want to and listen to replays.
Yeah.
But it's the genius is in the simplicity, and I'm very excited about starting out new people with it.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't show you let me go back to here. I'm going to screen share one more time. If I can move this. Under Files, once you've done that, you can go to Files, and he has the texting script and the 13 steps to get started. And the 13 steps is what I usually start people with. He doesn't do it until a couple weeks later. But those things are in there, and all you have to do is click them and print them under Files. So once you're a master card sender, then all that's in there also to get started with the rest of it.
I printed them out and I was going to show them to you, but I don't have them right next to me. So I did have them, but I don't know where they got off to. Okay, we're just about at the end of our 30 minutes. Were you going to share your screen, Sue, or no?
Well, I thought I did, but apparently I didn't, but that's okay.
That's okay. So when you're in that Facebook group, there's a special little spot that says Files, and you click on that, and he has those two, the texting script and then the 13 things to get started. So as a reminder, what we're going to do for our challenge this week is we're going to each come up with what our 72 exposures and a Drew Brees jersey is going to be for the next 30 days. So if you want to be super ambitious and you're going to expose somebody every single day, which Jordan coaches we should be doing, we should be walking someone through sending a card every single day. But then again, we're not all doing this all day, every day. We all have other responsibilities as well. So pick what your number of exposures is going to be and whatever your reward is. And I highly recommend that, obviously we don't have, a lot of times I recommend you send yourself an IM card that has pictures of motivational things on it. We don't really have time for that since we're doing a 30-day time frame. So if you do have a picture of the thing or the place or whatever your reward is going to be, I highly recommend that you put that picture on whatever chart you're going to use to keep track of that, because that's your motivation. So maybe if for the next 30 days, you know, maybe you're doing this part-time and your goal is 15 exposures in the next 30 days, and your reward is going to be a new golf bag. I just bought my 13-year-old a new golf bag last night that he wanted. So maybe that's going to be your reward. Put a picture of that, draw up a little chart with 15 squares on it. And as the month progresses, every time you send out cards with someone, write their name in. And then let's say a week later, I write Sue Greenwald in a square and I show her how to send a card. Well, a week later, she calls me and says, I really loved that card I sent to, you know, my cousin who's a realtor in Texas. And she just thought it was the coolest thing ever. She's got to have it. And so I want to come on board as a distributor and my cousin wants to be a customer. So then you can fill in that square however you know, maybe you want to use green for distributors and blue for customers or something like that. But go ahead and maybe, you know, put a check mark or a dollar sign in the distributors and a happy face in the customers or something like that, so that you can kind of look at that chart and have an idea. And then I recommend too that you check back in with the people that you've helped walk through sending a card. Check back with them within 7 to 10 days to hear their response of how the person they sent a card to reacted. Yes.
The Biz Runner will help with that, I think.
Yeah. For those of us that have the Biz Runner app, that will be really great because we can just program it right into our calendar to follow up with that person. Yep.
So last year after convention, I did an IM card, and I had a lot of IM statements on it, but I was very specific about the lake house. I had a picture. I had 6 pictures of things that I wanted in my lake house. I described the lake house. I described the dock, and so I got that card out to make my new one after this last Promptings Academy. And all of my IM statements are pretty much the same, except the lake house I didn't have to write down because I already realized it. But the thing that struck me is that the lake house is the only thing on my card that I had a picture of. Everything else was words.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me realize how powerful photographs are to our subconscious mind. So the new IM card that I made last night and sent to myself has photos on it of what I want to realize. And I know I've been taught that before. Don't know if I 100% believed it, but I totally believe it now. Pictures are powerful. Our subconscious mind apparently thinks in pictures.
Yes, it does.
Is one of my IM cards. I have a picture of my family on the front, and inside I have some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Disneyland, which I already realized that one. A new home, which I live in a new home now, but this is more like long-term, like my retirement home. This was a company that I was working with, one of their reps, because the marketing director wanted the entire company to come on board, which would have been a huge deal, but the marketing director couldn't get anyone else in the company to agree with her, which was sad. That's for those of you kind of new and send out cards. That's an executive trophy that you win when you become an executive. So that's an IM that I still need to realize. And that's my Range Rover. But really having pictures helps a lot. And like this one is just all words. This is another one that I did years ago. And I really like to use the big cards for those. So, you know, if you want to do some long-term goals, then send yourself a card. And like Sue said, use pictures because those pictures really motivate you a lot. So, all right. Well, does anyone else have any exciting news for the week or success stories before we end the recording?
Well, I signed, a guy came in yesterday with a marketing bundle, and he gave me a really good idea of getting together, doing what Steve does at his real estate. So he's going to real estate office. I gave him Jim's book, and I did what you said. I told him, don't worry about it. I showed him everything. I said, don't worry about it. I'll be back in touch in a week, but just go out and send 2 cards a day. Just send them, send them. And I have a question, and that is, we could not get his app to load. It kept saying network failure. And we even deleted the app and then brought it back in. I mean, he was so patient. I mean,
did you say that was yesterday, Woody?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have walked.
Yeah.
Long before I would have said, okay, this is cool, man. I'll get it. Call me. I'll see you next week. He was so sweet, and we went through. He finally signed up online on his laptop, but it said network failure, retry, and we could not get into on his phone.
That's interesting, because normally, we would get emails letting us know that there was something wrong with the system. So that's really interesting.
And sometimes when I've called customer service, there's something wrong with like your link. It just didn't load correctly or something, and it's just a one little glitch, and they do something and it fixes it. So just call customer service and
let them know.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that, but I said, hang on, man. We'll just go through the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and the other thing that I've done when there's technical issues for whatever reason is just pull out a paper application, have them fill it out, and then I go home and sign them up later. So that always works too. Mm-hmm. And I say, what do you want for your username and password? Okay, I'll text you when it's done. And then I work out the issues. Yeah.
Well, he's a customer, not a distributor. So.
Yeah, but either way, that works either way.
Cool. And so anyway, that was kind of exciting and frustrating, but exciting because it was real cool and went along with it.
I highly recommend, Woody, that if you're going to get together with his real estate office, that you watch any Gail Zintek YouTube videos.
Yeah, I have been. I'm going to watch some more. And also, I'm putting together a package for him to watch of links. A couple with Jim, but a lot with Gail, too, for him to do that.
I know this is going to make us go a little bit long, but while we were in Houston and Gail spoke at the Promptings Academy, one thing that really struck me was she put 2 different examples up on the screen. One was a couple that she had met at a chamber event, and she just kept in touch with them with cards. Never, promoting her real estate business, never promoting send out cards, just simply stayed in touch with them, relationship building. Over the course of the years, she, went to weddings and celebrated births, and she put up on the screen all the homes that she had closed on that were directly referred to her by this couple. And it was 8 houses, I think.
I think there was 9 of them. Yeah.
And then another girl that they do business with, that she just has stayed in touch with over the years. And there were 11 homes for that one. And that woman, on average, in the 7 years that they've been staying in touch with her, makes them about $8,000 a year in referral business from closing. Yeah. So, that's really interesting information. And, Jim McCord is great for young realtors who are out there looking for new prospects. But Gail is really great for people who are in it for the long haul and, probably have prospected as much as they can prospect. And now they want those existing clients to turn into more clients. And I will tell you myself, as a traditional business owner, that for us, a great portion of our business is also referral. And so really having great relationships with people. We get phone calls from people who live out of state and they're just going to be driving through. We had a gentleman call us a couple of weeks ago. We were out of town working at one of the dealerships we go to on a 3-day trip. And this gentleman called us. He lives in Wisconsin, and he was in Colorado for a vacation and was going to be driving through Nebraska the next day and wanted to get his car tinted. And he said, I won't have it done in Wisconsin. I only have you guys do my work. And so for us, that, you know, that really meant a lot, because that means we're doing something right when our clients will literally drive from another state to have their vehicle tinted from us. So that's the power of relationship building. So
Yeah.
I would definitely share one of her YouTube videos or something with the realtor group when you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you could even probably message her on Facebook and see if the slides that she shared at the Houston Promptings Academy, if she'd be willing to send those to you, because the pictures really speak loudly when she puts up a picture of someone and then slowly the houses all appear that she sold because of those people. So, yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well, we went over our time. Sorry, I was chatty Cathy tonight. But I look forward to seeing on WhatsApp in the next day or two what everyone chooses as their exposures and their reward. And like I said, if you don't feel comfortable sharing it with the group, please at least share it with an accountability partner or your sponsor. And everybody have a super great week. We'll see you next week. Oh, one more thing. Next week, I am not available. I will be on a 4-day pilgrimage in Wisconsin with my eldest son. So, Sue, will you be willing to lead the call next week?
Yes, just text me the
info? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll see everybody then in 2 weeks. Please pray for my son and I that his old out of shape mother can handle 4 straight days of walking 13 miles a day.
Everybody bring your charts.
Yeah, and everybody bring your charts next week and share those.
And we'll see
right.
who's the most creative. I guarantee it won't be me.
Awesome. Okay. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a
Thank you.
great
Good night.
Thank you for
Good night, Dan.